Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Chris Taylor, and I need to backpedal a bit here. A few weeks ago, we did an announcement video explaining the future of the channel. We started a Patreon, and a few of you wonderful peeps decided to help us out, and honestly, I appreciate everything you guys have done. Whether it's support there, or by commenting on what we do on our shows, good, bad, doesn't matter. Thank you to everyone. However, during that video, we also mentioned something about, well, the type of episode you just clicked on, Lil Devils. Its original inception was supposed to be taking the suggestions that you guys had, or just ideas that weren't fully fleshed out, and give you almost a preview of what could be a future episode. The comments were going to be their own separate video. In the Patreon and Discord announcement, we mentioned that we were going to start a third program of exactly that, responding directly to your comments. The thing is, we all work full-time jobs, and we flat out don't have the time. BD and I have our own shows, and Dan, he does all the back-end work on both of them. In all seriousness, he's one of the hardest working guys I know, able to take the ideas of both BD and myself and turning them into the awesome shows that you wonderful people get to enjoy. To put more work on him, even something simple, right now that's just too much. So let me take a moment right now and give a big thank you to Devious Advocacy's own version of Scott Mosier. Dan, without you, this channel wouldn't be a fraction of what it is now. So since we don't have a separate opening for this, let's just play the Devil's Advocate opening, dive right into the comments, and then do some Quickie Defenses. Punch it, Chewie! Steve McDouglas writes, "The prequels are getting more love than anyone expected." I'd have to agree there. I honestly thought we were going to get hung from the highest tree for doing that. Not once, but twice. Thus far, it is our highest viewed video and also seems to have been received quite well. I'm honestly a little shocked, but hey, I'm not upset either. Tara Foster writes, "Fuck that tie." Okay, well I would, but then it would also get dirty, and I'm pretty sure Dan would insist on filming it, and my girlfriend has a pretty strict no rubbing my naughty bits on anyone else rule, so yeah, that's not gonna happen. Dog Steves writes, "Satan gave us internal damnation in hell, and also many humans shouldn't deserve the right to think for themselves." Talking about you, genderless alien. I think you mean eternal, as internal means inside, and eternal means forever, and that's not actually true. 'Twas God who in fact gave us eternal damnation for going against his word.
That's right, you tell him, Chris.
Besides, I strongly believe that everyone should think for themselves. It's my opinion that all these hate groups and fanatical cults, they all get strength because the people within them don't actually want to think. Not deeply. They're looking for someone else to tell them what's right and wrong. That way, they also have someone to blame when the shit hits the fan. You know, the way people blame the devil for some of the evil things they do. Just saying. Jake Tryon says, "Darth Revan would have loved you." Thanks, Jake. Sadly, I haven't played enough of Knights of the Old Republic to get a strong hold on the story. I do know about the big spoiler near the end. I think it's near the end. Besides, I wrote that with a lot of Darth Bane in mind. Walla Woofa Papadongo writes, "Yes, sir. I'm single mostly because I'm a nerdy professional stoner. Literally. But also because I'm not about the casual life. Not many people my age are into being serious." Professional stoner? That's a job title? Dang, I know a couple of people who'd love that job. And that casual life. I don't know if it's an age thing or an experience thing. I will admit I tried it for a while, but like I said, it just wasn't for me. That being said, some people can make it work. It's all about striking the balance. More so than that though, it requires honesty. Nothing is worse than letting someone believe one thing only to have it be a lie. If both sides know what's going on and they're okay with it, nobody really has a right to judge someone else's life. Super Golden Boy YOLO Swagmaster 69 says, "Prequels are very much greater than the originals." I wouldn't necessarily go that far either. Sure, I enjoy the prequel trilogy quite a bit, but I grew up on the originals. The special edition VHS from the 90s. All of it's Star Wars, and I'd be hard-pressed to say any one set of movies is better than the others because, to me, they all offered something that I enjoyed. All those Star Wars comments.
Wrong.
Huh?
It's not all Star Wars this time, it's Jurassic Park 3.
Wait, what? Give me a sec. Holy crap, there was a ton of traffic on Jurassic Park in the last couple of weeks. Just goes to show that the best way to be successful is just throw a bunch of shit at the wall and see what sticks. It also helps to do what you love, and I love talking pop culture. The overwhelming majority of comments did focus on the fight between the Spinosaurus and the T-Rex. Turns out that I may have been factually inaccurate. Or was I? The thing about that is, I was working on the information that we had back in the day of when that movie was made. And the movie was made with that knowledge too. It's not like we can go back in time and change a movie that's already been done and make it better. Although, that would totally reek of awesomeness. Besides, as another astute viewer said, none of the movies were entirely factually accurate. The dinosaurs themselves were designed how we think they behaved, and in truth, we don't know 100% for sure. They're extinct. I love the T-Rex as much as the next guy, but working with only the knowledge that we had back then, I still firmly stand behind what I said. Besides, the fossil record isn't complete to our knowledge, so who knows? Maybe in another 50 years, another dinosaur that would fit the same time frame as Rexy would come in and completely obliterate them both. Lastly, the Utah Raptor / Deinonychus part. Yeah, that's my bad. I honestly thought they were the same thing. But much like how the writer of the books probably used Velociraptor because it sounded more exotic, I used Utah Raptor because, well, I could actually pronounce it properly. That felt great! Next up, Quickie Defenses. Mad Axe Killer 0725 asks us to defend Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice. To a certain degree, I already did when we put out the DC Universe video, but just to really do this topic justice, I'll do it here. For one, it gave us Ben Affleck as Batman. Sure, others have come before and there will be others in the future, but I think he did a great job. In fact, I'd go as far as to say that he was the best Batman we've had so far. Think about it. You're really playing two characters in one, because the differences between the Bat and Bruce Wayne are quite large. Most actors, they can get one aspect of the character, but usually only one and not both. Michael Keaton was the closest one, in live action anyways, but Ben, he managed to capture both sides really well. There's also the fact that thanks to that movie, we got a killer performance of Wonder Woman by Gal Gadot. And if that's not enough, the movie addresses 90% of the problems that people had with Man of Steel while organically moving the DC Extended Universe forward. Yes, the trailer gave away everything, but that's a fault of the trailer and not the movie. And honestly, despite being nearly 3 hours long, you really do need to see the ultimate cut. A lot of the problems that people had with Batman v Superman were dealt with in the original version. But the theatrical, even I'll admit that was kind of a mess. Annabeth1052 asks us to defend, and yes, I'm paraphrasing here because that was a long post, defend having something on in the background while you're trying to sleep. This one is actually quite easy, as it's something that I used to do all the time. My mind hardly ever stops working, and when it does, it has a tendency to focus on both nothing and everything at once. It's caused a lot of anxiety. I find that there are times when having something else on while I'm trying to focus on just one thing actually works. It does. Usually I'll have music on while writing episodes for the show, and even going back to a year or two ago, I would put on Netflix or YouTube just to help me get to sleep. It kept my brain somewhat distracted while simultaneously putting it at ease, and got me to sleep. Some people need absolute silence and others don't. Like a lot of things, it really is wholly dependent on the individual. Matthew Cooper asks us to defend the Spawn movie. That movie needed defending? I always thought people loved it. Alright, well, you've got John Leguizamo playing the Violator. There has yet to be a movie where I haven't loved what he's done, and this is absolutely no exception. For its time, the special effects were top-notch too. The DVD box art even says it was the special effects movie of the year. Some of it doesn't hold up that well now, like the look of Malbolgia or when they're in hell and you see all the other spawns, but the cape looked absolutely badass, and seeing the different uses of the Spawn costume in action was awesome. Then there's the soundtrack, which was a gimmick in its own right. Dance music artists paired up with rock and hip hop acts combined together to make something wholly unique. And if that all doesn't work for you, we can take this as an unofficial prequel to The Dark Knight. Same actor, both hates clowns. God asks, wait a sec, God? Boss?
It's not the Facebook god. I have no idea if that's the same guy.
And you're not gonna smite me for taking his request?
Haven't decided yet. Don't screw this up.
Alright, well. God asks us to defend Eric Cartman. He's a 9-year-old kid. Do any of you remember what it was like being 9? Do any of you think you were better off back then? Sure, you had no responsibilities, but you also had no knowledge, and if you did, you certainly wouldn't know what to do with it. Eric Cartman is a child. For all his supposed evil, it's all done through the mind of a freaking child. Plus, yeah, single-parent upbringing. There's only so much that one parent can do to keep an eye on their kid. Being a parent is a full-time job, and that's when things go perfectly. Clearly, he isn't perfect, and there's plenty of time to learn since, again, he's 9 years old! Dog Steves asks to defend The Force Awakens. I wanted to address this because I'm actually gonna wait on this for a bit. It's not that I don't think it needs defending or that I can't defend it, but it's the first movie of a trilogy that we haven't seen all of yet. It's not to say it's flawless or that we shouldn't be critical of it, but it introduced a diverse cast of heroes and got us excited for Star Wars again. A lot of people who felt like they got burned by the prequels, well, a lot of those same people said this felt more like Star Wars. With both the prequels and the originals, we've had years to dissect, overthink, watch, and rewatch what amounts to 2 complete trilogies of movies. The Force Awakens is the first of a new trilogy. We don't know how everything connects yet. We don't have nearly all the answers, and I, for one, am excited about what the future holds in the Star Wars universe. Well, that's all for me this week. As always, be sure to like this video, share it with all your friends, and keep those comments coming. Whether you agree or disagree, just keep the conversation going. And you can always join us on Discord as well, just to get to know us here at Devious Advocacy a little better, or give us suggestions for future episodes. But for now, the defense rests.